ready to roll?
We are.
All right. Good afternoon. It's Robert and Julia Miller with the J. Patel Group and Rethink Real Estate with another exciting real estate update. Happy Friday the 13th.
Yeah, happy Friday the 13th.
Do you like horror movies?
Not really.
I find them a scream. All right, got a joke for us?
Apparently.
Me go first?
You just did.
No, I got another one.
Oh, all right.
But you can find yours in the meantime.
I got it.
Okay. Women spend more time wondering what men are thinking than men spend actually thinking.
That's a good one.
I thought you'd like that.
Long are the days where I ask, what are you thinking?
Nothing?
Nothing. Brain cells die. Skin cells die. Even hair cells die. But the fat cells in my stomach have accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior because they have eternal life.
I like it. That's a good one.
There you go.
All right, quickly, this week in history.
Episode 43. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Episode 43, yes. Please like and subscribe. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. All right, 1966, Dr. Michael DeBacchi installs the first artificial heart pump.
Wow. 1966.
Yep.
Excellent.
1945, Japan announces its unconditional surrender, ending World War II. 1854, Henry David Thoreau publishes his Transcendentalist Tome. Stumbled over that word. Walden. I love that book. That's one of my favorite books.
Long.
Is it a long book?
Thoreau is very lengthy, yeah.
I didn't even notice it being that long, really. Okay. I enjoyed it. It was very good. Okay. And finally, 1846, the Smithsonian Institute is chartered August 10th by the U.S. Congress.
Love the Smithsonians. Love when we go out to D.C. and see the kids and bring the grandkids to the Smithsonian, and it's free.
I can never get out of the aeronautical building.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So fun.
Okay, news updates. Economic news. We did have good employment numbers and job creation numbers this week. But non-farm payrolls increased by 943,000 in July, while average earnings rose 0.4% amid persistent rising prices.
I covered that last week a little bit.
Yeah, unemployment remains well above the 3.5%. We were wondering what that was. We were close. We said 3.4. It's 3.5% before the pandemic. So the Federal Reserve's preferred easy monetary policy remains in place. U.S. service sector activity hit an all-time high in July, though businesses continue to pay higher prices due to supply constraints. With coronavirus restrictions eased, Americans are spending freely, but the trade-off for demand is bottlenecking supply chain from congested ports to delayed deliveries. So that's interesting.
Slowing things down.
Yeah.
Waiting too long for things.
Housing news. More than a third of American homeowners are equity rich.
That's good news. I actually thought it was a little higher than that, but okay.
Okay, do you know what equity rich means?
What does equity rich mean, Robert?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. It's the combined loan to value, CLTV, rates below 50%. So if you say you own a $400,000 home, you owe less than $200,000 or 50%, you are equity rich.
Okay.
So got that going for you.
Wow.
The 34.4% of homeowners in that category is up from 27.5%. That's a pretty substantial jump.
Yeah, it is.
In the second quarter of last year. So it's good news. Always wondering if we're going to have this foreclosure rush. There's only 5% that remain underwater at all.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see many short sales or foreclosures in the foreseeable future. And that's according to...
Working with people, that's for sure. The banks are working with people.
When necessary. It's not even necessary that much. Okay. So that's from Mortgage News Daily. Housing costs, household debt rose $313 billion in the second quarter, the largest surge in 14 years. Most of the gain came from mortgage originations, though. Both purchases and refinances. Amid historic low rates, the 2.1% increase brings the collective American, this is interesting, if we were to become a debt-free nation, in other words, no American owed any money to anybody.
Call Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, the Dave Ramsey policy. Collective American IOU is just shy of 15 trillion. That's a lot of zeros.
That's a lot of zeros.
Yeah, we have a lot of debt.
Yeah. Who do we know that has that much?
I don't know a single even Warren Buffett couldn't bail us
Warren
out of
Buffett
that
couldn't
one.
even
He would
help
have
us
to call in a bunch of his friends and pay off the entire American debt.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, regulatory news. The new eviction ban, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. I still don't know what they have to do with housing, but the CDC announced a new federal eviction moratorium through October 3rd, expected to cover more than 80% of the U.S. counties, and you checked Arizona and pretty much covered them all.
Most of Arizona, yeah, is covered.
Okay.
Within that, yeah.
Targeting areas with substantial or high COVID-19 transmission, it aims to give states time to distribute $46 million in federal renters assistance, and I believe that represents, I think the original number or the original allotment of funds was 50 million. So they've only given out 4 million of the 46 million.
That
so
sounds about right, because you were saying last week 7%.
Yeah, that would be just about right. So
yeah.
So don't shoot the messenger.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Okay, infrastructure bill, 1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure deal could be up for vote in the U.S. Senate this week. I haven't heard about it, so I think it's going to get pushed to next week.
Yeah.
The bill has unilateral support from Democrats and 18 Republicans in a Senate split 50-50, so that should be enough to get it through.
Yeah.
That's from Reuters.
All right. Thank you for that news update.
You're welcome.
Special update.
Yeah, you got some Vistancia Mid-year update for us?
Yeah, Mark Hammonds, Vice President and General Manager with the developer of Vistancia, put out a mid-year new home sales update. So Vistancia 2021 mid-year sales results is North Point, and they've sold 116 homes there.
That is a lot. They don't even have their community center done yet.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I mean, the homes aren't done, obviously, but the sales have been.
I walked into the Richmond American office and looked at their board, and I was like stunned that the whole thing was red. And there was like one little middle section that was still available.
Yeah.
And they were almost sold out already. It was
At any rate, Trilogy has sold 83, and these are new homes.
They only have about 150, so they have maybe another year, and then they're done.
Village has sold 13, Blackstone 5, and we were discussing Blackstone. That's got to be David Weekley. That's
they have that little Fairways condo type or townhome type product, small product, and they're building that out. That's almost done, so they'll be finished. And the Village has just got, I think, just William Ryan, and maybe Gayan has a few left, and then they'll be done too. So there's not too much going on there either.
So the total sales for new homes is 217, and that's through June, the end of June.
Excellent.
Let's see here. What else can I tell you? They had a total of 437 in phase 1 for North Point. That's the lots that were available.
And the bulk of that's yet to be built will be David Weekley. They haven't actually started yet.
Right. Additionally, development plans for phase 2 are in progress, which will include an additional 169 new home sites.
469.
I'm sorry, 469.
Sorry, I don't mean to be looking over your shoulder.
That's okay. Phase 2 builders will be announced later this year, and we do know Pulte.
We know Pulte is. We know Richmond American is not, and that's all we know so far.
So if you like that type of kind of update, we do offer a quick email that can come to you once a month. We send it out to all of our clients.
Only once a month.
Only once a month. We
don't
will not
inundate you.
spam you. Yeah. However, you do have the ability to go onto our website once you set up an account and set up all kinds of searches, and it will email you with whatever search criteria you put in.
However often you decide.
However often you decide, yeah.
Sure.
But anyway, this is a zip code report. So 85027 is this one, this example that I'm using. And it will tell you current market condition, active listings, pending listings, and median list price.
Excellent.
So that's nice. It's just a nice quick bullet point, and then it gives you these nice little graphs, probably hard to see on camera here, but median home price has increased by, and it tells you the percentage. Home value in 85027 has increased by how much per square foot? This is almost $50 per square foot from last year. So it's kind of nice to know those things.
Mm-hmm.
Sale to list ratio has increased by 3%. So it's just a nice little report that you can have in your email once a month that we offer.
Gives you an opportunity to keep an eye on what your home value is and where you're at. So.
Yep.
Okay, we had the pleasure of sitting in with Tina Tambir of the Cromford report, and I'll go over just some of the bullet points that we went over. Affordability, this is interesting. The last year this time, the median mortgage payment was $1,896. Now we know we're talking about home prices going up. You think that correlates to a higher mortgage payment. Actually, it does not, because of the low interest rates. So it actually dropped to $1,493, meaning most households saw a $400 drop in their mortgage payment.
Yeah, if they were able to refinance.
Yeah, if they
were
refinanced
refinancing.
or...
And didn't pull money out, obviously. You had the same amount and you refinanced.
Right. We should be seeing some resistance. We've talked about getting back to a more normal year, and where the first half of the year is super busy, and then it just kind of tapers off towards the end of the year. And we're starting to see what she called resistance, which is an indication that we are going to see some tapering off and some leveling off and slowing down.
Yeah.
Longer days on market. Homes not being sold in one day.
Right.
So we're going to see more days on market. Not as much over list price, if any. So, we're going to see more at list, or maybe even below.
More of a normalization.
Yeah, a little bit normal. Now, the way that they calculate this is the percentage of people who can afford a medium home price. They consider normal 60 to 75. Currently, we're running at 56, so we're slightly below that normal.
Okay.
So that's where that resistance is coming in, and a little bit of calming in the industry.
Where you hear the buyers say, well, I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. That's some of that resistance is they're feeling that pinch.
Well, they're in a position where they really can't afford the median price. So
the home price.
They can't get the home they want.
They can't get the home they want.
And you can't blame them. This is a lot of money you're spending. So get what you want. Get what's going to make you happy that you bought. Forbearance, it's actually down. It's tanking, down 71,000.
Wow.
There are about 340,000 nationwide slated for review September and October. So we'll see. I think that number is going to keep dropping and shrinking as we get closer.
Yeah.
What it comes down to maximum is a potential for about 7,000 listings could potentially, I doubt it'll be anywhere near that because most of them will get rectified, but it could potentially inject 7,000 new listings into our market, which we would certainly welcome. We would love that. But I think it's going to be far less than that. Interesting iBuyers. They are way up this year. 311% inventory year over year. And that's due to, a lot of that's due to public trading. They've become public traded companies, so they have a lot more buying power. So they're putting in some really aggressive offers, and just close to home here in our micro vision, we've seen a couple that they seriously missed the mark on. I could not believe how much they paid, and we're now seeing some massive price drops on those homes that they missed the mark on so badly. So,
And just to remind you, iBuyers is internet buyers, so it's the Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow, Redfin.
Right.
I feel like I'm missing one, but
Knock.
Homey or no, Knock.
Knock is one homie,
Yeah.
but they have almost no sales
Yeah,
whatsoever.
So.
So anyway, interesting that the iBuyers are having some traction.
Right.
So we've been talking about we're seeing our inventory creeping up. So actually the supply, Tina measures it right down to the pin, and it actually started May 29th, and we've just gradually seen it increasing slowly but surely. We're still 70% below normal, but we are seeing an increase. And so a lot of people go, why do we have such low inventory in Arizona? Well, here's one of the reasons. Our population has grown by 20%. Our housing has only grown by 11%. So we have a 9% shortfall. And next week, the census has been, recent census has been released, and I'll go over just some summary numbers. As it gets dissected by the experts. There'll be much more we'll talk about on census, but there are a few basic observations specific to Arizona, and I'll go over those next week.
Okay, good.
So where is the inventory shortage? Well, if you're looking for something under 300K, you are still in a bidding war and paying over list
like
price.
looking under rocks. And
and you're probably not going to see the exact upgrades and everything that you want.
That was one of the markets. That was one of the ones that is getting closer to normal is Sun City West, our little Sun City West.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems there is that anybody who's looking for anything under 300,000 in Sun City West, they exist, but you got to be Johnny on the spot and ready to put your offer in, have your pre-qual in hand or cash in hand.
Yep.
So.
The 300 to 400 range, it's still a sweet spot, and it's still tough, but it has improved considerably.
Okay.
Ironically, the 400,000 to 800,000 is actually back to 2019.
That is surprising.
Through all of this madness, they've worked themselves all the way back. 400,000, 800,000, it's same as 2019.
Yeah.
We're seeing a normal percentage of price reductions. That was something that we never saw for a few months, but now we're finally starting to see some price reductions. Days on market are creeping up slowly but surely. The list price per square foot is dropping overall too.
Not like a rock or anything, just...
Yeah, so we're seeing a little bit of relief and resistance, as she says.
Resistance, yeah.
The demand, we're seeing more historical decline in demand, so we expect this year to continue to kind of taper off a little bit. New construction, it's up 39%, and this is interesting. This is something we're seeing. Builders are waiting until the home is a good way through the building process before they actually commit to selling it. And there's a couple of reasons. One, they're having shortages of materials and the prices keep going up, so they don't really know what they have to charge for the home to be profitable.
That's the thing.
The other thing is I think they're looking at this and going, wow, we are missing out on a lot of appreciation. I mean, we have placed several new home construction buyers in their homes, and they are $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 up in appreciation because they signed 8 or 10 months ago. And
I think
through
the
this time,
builders are like, wait a minute.
So,
and to your point, the construction costs have increased over that time.
Right, and on top of that, they've made a commitment. Now, some of them put stipulations in their contracts that they can increase.
They can. A lot of builders do have that in the contracts. So read your contracts, but
some of them got stuck with those
most
costs.
builders won't enforce it, but they can.
Yeah.
They can.
So we should, overall summary, we should expect to see, we're still deeply in a seller's market, but we should expect to move towards a weaker seller's market. We're not going to move anywhere close to a buyer's market. Sorry.
No.
Sorry if you're waiting on the fence, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. But we should see a bit of a weakening and a little bit weaker seller's market for the rest of the year. So that was from Tina Tambier of the Cromford report. Always look forward to hearing her talk every month.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Definitely.
let's go over rates. 30-year has actually dropped. It's down to 3.091. The 15-year, 2.316, and the VA comfortably at 2.759. So still a great time to refi and a great time to buy a home. Inventory, valley-wide, still creeping up, 7,251.
Okay.
Peoria, 223. Surprise actually dropped a little bit. They're at 211.
Okay.
Closer to home, Trilogy at Vistancia has 12 homes available. Most affordable is $444,900, and the most expensive is still $1,099,900.
Okay.
Vistancia Village has 17 homes available, 400,000 being the most affordable, 810 being the most expensive. Blackstone Country Club has 2 homes available, one at 825,000 and one at 1,300,000.
Ah.
Portobello also only has 2 homes available.
2 homes available.
340,000 being the most affordable and 525,000 being the most expensive.
That's still not too bad.
Sun City Grand is down to 16.
Ooh.
Most affordable 344,900 and the most expensive 875,000. And finally Sun City West, 35 homes available. They have one under 200. $190,000, and the most expensive $690,000. So that is our little bit lengthy report, but I think we buzzed through it pretty well.
One discovery that I had this week, just today in fact, was that Westbrook Village, which is in Peoria, it's an active adult community, and I didn't realize that they had condo type, not just side by side, but condo like
3-story tall,
it
or
seems
2 or
like
3
it's
story
2 or
tall?
3 stories. I don't know very much about it, but yeah, that listing came up and I was like, whoa, what's this?
They're very similar to Sun City Grand. You know, Sun City Grand has an entire condominium section, and then they also have their small product lock and leave where the HOA takes care of all the landscaping and all that. And then they have, they do not have Gemini product in Sun City Grand. I don't think.
No, they have the lock and leave, and then that's
it.
That's it. Yeah, and then the standalone.
Yeah, and then they have the standalone home. So yeah, they have some diversity in Westbrook Village as well.
I didn't realize that. So that's good. I don't think they come available very often.
That was the first one I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, that I was aware of. So anyway, fun little tidbit there.
Yeah. All right, that's our report for today.
All right.
Everybody have a fantastic weekend and a blessed week, and we will talk to you again next week.
Bye.
Take
Run through. What do you got for us this week?
You got a joke?
I do.
You didn't steal my joke?
No, I almost did. It's pretty funny.
Okay. You still gotta laugh when I say it, like you haven't seen it before.
It's been a couple days. I remember it was funny, but.
Okay. The Smithsonian Institute is chartered August 10th by the U.S. Congress. That's your history.
The Smithsonian, I'm sorry, say that again. Smithsonian.
You weren't listening?
Only partially.
You always listen to everything I say.
I do.
But not that time.
Partially.
Rate, it was 3.5%.
3.5.
I think that's what we were guessing. Before the pandemic, so the Federal Reserve prefers easy monetary policy remains in place. They're not wording this correctly. So the Federal Reserve prefers easy monetary policy. So the Federal Reserves, there's an S missing. That's the problem. The Federal Reserves preferred
easy monetary
policy remains in place.
So that's the one where it's paying people to get a job, basically.
No, we're not talking about stimulus. What they're talking about is the Federal Reserve is not going to reduce the bond buying. If they reduce the bond buying, then that's going to put pressure on or increase the interest rate, the rate they
Okay.
charge banks. So interest rates are gonna stay the same,
Stay the
so easy lending, and that pumps fuel to the economy. So they're gonna continue that.
Yeah.